at Indianapolis Colts on November 14th, Sunday, November 14th. This is a tricky one. Jacob, I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, you're right. It absolutely is a tricky one. Indy was a good team. We kind of jokingly said we're excited that Carson Wentz, at least I said it, we're excited that Carson Wentz was going there because we're not too afraid right now of Carson Wentz. But here's the deal. If he is able to play like he used to play when he was great with the Eagles, this team might be scary good, because that defense was no joke. They got Jonathan Taylor. He's no joke in my opinion. And then if Carson Wentz is good with that offensive line, it's very tough to want to pick us against Indy. But, the Jags somehow play well against them, even in Indy. But for now, I'm probably going to predict a loss in Indianapolis against a very well-rounded team.
Yeah, I've said it time and time again on this podcast. I wish this team was not in our division because I love their defense. I think their defense is extremely underrated. But the Jaguars play against the Colts the way the Titans play against the Jaguars. It just seems time and time again the Jaguars play extremely well against Indianapolis. Hey, in fact, the Jaguars went 500 against Indianapolis last season. So that's a positive spin on a 1-15 season. We split the games against Indy last season, and we actually played them pretty close in one of the final games of the season. I think it was week 16 or 17. Like, we held our own last season. I am going to go with a win here, Jacob. I think this is where we differ for the first time. I'm going to go with a win at Indianapolis for the sole reason that the wide receiving core for the Colts is slim to none. There's not too much to be afraid of there. It reminds me a lot of the Denver Broncos game, where the it's going to be all about us beating the defense, which is going to be tough to do. But I think with, 8 games under his belt, I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be settled in by this point. I think the identity is going to be there, and I think we're going to squeak out a win here. It's going to be a touchdown victory, 3-point victory. It's not going to be anything crazy. I'm going to go with the win. Matt, we need you to jump in here and tie break it for us.
Welcome, Matt.
Yeah, welcome to the show. Jaguars at Indianapolis in week number 10. Win or loss from you?
Oh, week 10 already. As you guys said, they got a great defense, and I think it's going to be key for them. If Carson Wentz can get to T.Y. Hilton and Michael Pittman, if he can get to his receivers, and because I already know that running game is going to be a good one, I'm going to have to give the edge to the Colts in this one.
Okay. We say all that with assuming Carson Wentz is going to still be playing in week 10. Yes. He has a habit of not playing past like week 6. So
we need Eagles expert Debo to really.
Yeah, shout out Debo. Where you at, man? So we are now 3-6. So this season just went in the shitter very quickly. But we are 3-6 through 9 games. But again, realistically, we come home for 2 games. First one against the 49ers. 49ers coming from the West Coast to the left coast over to the first coast against the Jacksonville Jaguars. November 21st, week 11. This is going to be a fun one. The number 1 team versus the number 3 team in this past year's draft. Trey Lance potentially up against, obviously, Trevor Lawrence. It's going to be interesting to see what the 49ers do with Trey Lance. But I think the 49ers defense is faux compared to what it used to be. I don't think it's as bad as it used to be. I don't think the offense is what it used to be. I know their run game is extremely stout. That's what you have to look out for. They have a run game that will literally rival the Tennessee Titans run game when it comes to eating clock. But I think the Jaguars get enough points here. I think they control the game enough coming back home, and they're going to be desperate for a win here. We just have them going 5 straight losses. I think they're going to be desperate for a win. Back home in Jacksonville, I'm going to take a win here. Reluctantly, kind of, I say 60-40 split here, but I'm going to go with a win against the San Francisco 49ers. What about you, Jacob?
Yeah, my note for this game is Trey Lance playing yet? Because whether it's going to be by injury or just the fact that maybe Jimmy G is not playing great. I mean, even if he plays kind of okay, if he's not playing phenomenally, people are going to be calling for Trey Lance. But yeah, I'm kind of unsure about this game myself because I don't know which 49ers team we're going to get. Are we going to get a good 49ers team? I feel like they kind of been back and forth. So just for the sake of seeing what Matt's got to say, I'm going to predict a loss. And Matt, I'm going to make you break this tie and tell me what you think.
All right, Matt, go for it, man.
There we go. Oh, man. I feel it's going to be like this for every week from now on. I'm going to go Jackson this one. Justin made a great point. They're eager for a win. Going with 3-4 straight losses. And Jacob said, you don't know who's going to be the quarterback. This is going to be Garoppolo. It's going to be Lance. You really never know. And so coming back home, coming towards that Thanksgiving break, I think the Jags nail this one.
Yeah. I think the desperation factor is going to kick in. And I also think that Trevor Lawrence win factor kicks in at some point where he's not comfortable losing multiple games in a row. Hell, he's never done it before. So I think this is going to be a situation where maybe Trevor Lawrence puts the team on his back, though, and we get a win against San Francisco. And then we stay in the First Coast after Thanksgiving versus the Falcons at home. I think the biggest intrigue here is maybe one of the best upcoming tight ends in Atlanta with Kyle Pitts versus a team with no tight end in Jacksonville, a team that wanted Kyle Pitts playing the team that got Kyle Pitts. And Richie Grant makes his return into the Sunshine State to play in Jacksonville, so that's pretty exciting. Will Julio Jones still be on the Falcons? I feel like this team has a bunch of question marks, too, with what's going on in Atlanta. Jacob, I want to hear your thoughts on this one.
Yeah, I think that if it's not San Francisco, this is the game the Jags potentially get it right and turn things back around because Atlanta has a very potent offense, at least on paper. Will they all make it to this game? Who knows? But I'm not truly afraid of Matt Ryan as a game breaker. He's a very good quarterback, but I think that I don't really know besides who Deion Jones, Richie Grant now. It's there's not a ton of talent, or at least crazy talent on their defense that I'm not worried about it, and it's at home. So I'm going to predict a win here. And this is where, if it's not San Francisco, I think the Jags finally turn it back around after a tough stretch.
I like it. Well, hey, that's a win. That brings us back to 5-6, which is pretty respectable. Almost 500 heading into Week 13, game number 12. And we go back to the left coast at Los Angeles Rams, a 4:25 game in LA. I don't know if Jacksonville is going to pull out a Drake lyric here and say no more parties in LA, or a Kanye lyric, excuse me. But I think Jacksonville does have a fighting chance in this one. As weird as that is, I think they do have a fighting chance in this one. Like you said about the Seahawks game earlier, if the Rams game was after the bye week, would have felt more confident. But I don't think the Rams are what they used to be. Defensively, they're a fantastic team. And I think if Jacksonville got screwed anywhere on this schedule, it's the fact that they're playing almost all the best defenses in the league besides the Chicago Bears. They're playing so many good defenses. It's unreal. And offensively, they can match up with people versus other offenses. But I think this is going to be a game where the Los Angeles Rams are a stout defense. I think this is the Jalen Ramsey revenge game. I think he locks down DJ Chark. I'm going to go with a loss in this game. Jacob, what about you?
Yeah, I think a big storyline here, one, like you said, is Ramsey, but is what can we do to block Aaron Donald? Because Aaron Donald is really a force to be reckoned with, because we have this shiny new quarterback that hopefully – is playing well by this point, and we need to keep him upright if we want a shot. It is very tough as a Jags fan, knowing our history on the West Coast is not good. And I actually like Matt Stafford better than I like Jared Goff. So I lean towards a loss for this game, and I'm hoping that we can make it competitive and pull it out. But like I said, West Coast, crazy good defense, and I like Matt Stafford. I'm going to say we lose.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the loss here, too. Not much more to it in this one. I think you hit the nail on the head, Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. And then also the Rams just have great weapons on the offensive side of the ball. We've seen it from their receivers for the last few seasons, and I think Matt Stafford is only going to make those receivers even better. We